What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Martin here at DataDash, and today is September 24th of 2017. Well, folks, as you all know, if you watch my channel from time to time, I like to share recommendations with all of you that I've spotted in the cryptocurrency market. And as we step into the month of October, there's a lot of recent ICOs or ICOs that are simply just trending right now that are showing some good signs going into the month of October that could be good potential buys. So, what are those ICOs? Why do they stand out to me? And why do I think they're going to be great trades going into the month of October? Well, let's go ahead and dive into each and every candidate that I've been looking at, and I'll explain exactly that. The first one I want to look at is Omise Go. Now, we talked about this in my recent pullback video, or for 5 cryptocurrencies to watch for a pullback. Omise Go has been a winner in this space. They've had consistent updates, they've stayed very active with the community, and there's a lot of hype going into Omise Go that I think is going to last going into 2018. So I think that, during the month of October, what's really kind of convenient for us, even though we think it's going to be a great run-up winner for the long run, right now during late September and early October, we're going to probably see a continuation of this pullback. We're finally getting an Omise Go. It's kind of been something I've been waiting for a long time. And, after a killer run-up, we need a decent cooldown on it. Now, what's my strategy of buying into this? Well, if you want to get extra details on it, I recommend you go watch my pullback video. It's much better to watch the in-depth analysis of what I'm planning to do with Omise Go and how I'm planning to get in. That video is going to be a great resource for it. However, I'm generally trying to buy on a pullback on this one. And I think we're going to get that towards the end of September, maybe early October. And if you can get in that pullback, I think we're going to easily revisit the highs. So this will be a good return on Omise Go, in my opinion. And I think that we might even go even higher than the previous highs and stuff. Because, again, the momentum behind this one and how it's been able to hold its overbought price action is showing signs that this one has no breaks. This one wants to keep on going. And after a nice, healthy pullback on Omise Go, depending on what levels you want to buy at, wherever you feel comfortable on it, I know I have my buy level set. I know that I'm going to feel safe getting into this one because it is a strong winner. So, again, if you can get this one on a pullback going into late September or early October, this could be a winner. So definitely keep it on your watch list, folks. Next one I want to talk about is Particle. So recently I did a video talking about decentralized markets on the blockchain. We talked about SafeX, Syscoin, BitBay. There's so many competitors in this space. And one that I left out was Particle. Now, I'm not negative on Particle in any sense. It is just simply a very competitive space, so there's a lot of players to cover. And Particle was a recent ICO. What I liked about it is they seem to have the branding and the UI on their design for their software that really seems like this could take off and get adopted. Not to mention it had some good features as well with the Particle token and the entire platform. So if you want to learn a little more about that, I recommend you go watch my video on Particle. I think I did a pretty decent job of covering it. But again, I think that Particle looks good at these levels. It's only at a $54 million valuation, and the only thing I can critically say is the volume. The volume is very low right now. I'm hoping that that can get around our $500,000 minimal volume, and maybe even a little bit higher. And we've seen it in the past. I mean, it's gotten there before, but this one has just kind of been in the twilight zone. It's just kind of sitting by waiting for a catalyst to push it higher. And I like the circulating supply and the total supply. Very low amount of circulating supply, so I think that this is good. It gives, there's just sometimes an intrinsic benefit to having a limited supply that gives tokens increased value. So again, watch Particle. This one looks good. I'm going to keep my eye on it, and if we go to the chart, I'm going to show you how I'm going to trade it. I'm actually considering getting into a position in Particle as we speak right now. I have not bought it yet. But the reason why I'm thinking about buying it down here is because, like I said, it's kind of been in the twilight zone. It's just kind of just hanging by and everything, waiting for a big catalyst to break out. And generally speaking, I've noticed that there's a central bottom down here around 175,000 Satoshis to watch for, and then a sell point around 250,000 Satoshis. Sometimes it'll step out a little bit outside of that range, but I'm generally trying to buy it lower down here and then also sell it somewhere up in the higher end of this range. So we'll have to see if Particle can get the volume to do it. I'm hoping we can get another one of these run-ups where the volume started coming in, and I'll feel a little more safe putting my money into it. But again, I usually do not like to touch the low volume. So if we can get that volume, I'll get into this. So definitely looks like a key winner there. And again, we're revisiting ARK for our third candidate here. We talked about this on our pullback video. ARK is a recent ICO that came out back, I think, in it was either in May or June. And I recently did a video on ARK. I'm very optimistic on the project. This is giving me the vibes of Neo and Ethereum, and this is one of the enterprise solutions, ICOs that have come out, and it was kind of not abandoned, but it really just didn't get the hype around it that it really deserved, I think, until the past month or so. So ARK has been killing it. The volume has been strong, and again, total supply and circulating supply look fine to me. The price action, though, has been extremely bullish. And what's nice is it's had a nice pullback so far. Now, I don't know if it's going to continue pulling back. As you all know, if you watched the video on my pullback candidates, we called for buy levels a little bit lower than where we see this little bounce here. Now, if you want to add at these levels, I wouldn't say, oh my gosh, you're making the worst decision ever. No, I think that these are fair levels to add. But to be fair, I'm not going to add my major positions into ARK until I get those buy levels in. I have them set, and I think that ARK can pull back. As we've seen in the past, ARK has had not only sometimes drawn out pullbacks, but it's also had ones where it pulls back more than 50%. We haven't gotten that yet. So I think as September goes through, wait for the pullback to continue, especially if we get a bear market in crypto temporarily. And then in October, look to get this one cheap, in my opinion. I think that this could be a really good winner. I like ARK's project. The team is phenomenal. The project itself, it really is trying to be the sandbox of blockchain for enterprise. So I think that it's going to be interesting to see applications being built on the ARK platform and people being able to fully utilize the power behind it that I think has been undervalued for quite some time. So definitely keep ARK on your radar. And y'all know it. I gotta defend it. Even every time I do a video on it, I know it seems like it's like, oh my god, he's just like defending Neo to no avail. I think Neo is extremely undervalued right now, to be fair with you all. I think with Bitcoin lowered, as well as altcoins in general, and with Neo, with the China fears and stuff, I think Neo is extremely cheap. To get Neo at $19 is a steal right now. And I think that with the volume that's holding in there, this is still one of the leading players that people are watching for. They're not giving up on it. People are starting to realize, if we look at the price action in a minute, that nothing's really changed for Neo. Neo's doing okay. It's continuing to be built on every single day by the team. If we go here to the chart, he got exactly what I was hoping for when I saw when I plugged the 100-day moving average onto the chart. We had broken the 50-day up here, but now it's maintaining absolutely clear support on the 100-day, and I think that's good for the pullback. If not that, I would have loved if it went down to the 200-day, but I don't think we're going to get that, folks. I think we've found common support here. We're seeing exactly what we were hoping to see, where the price action is starting to cup here. Hopefully we can get a cup and handle where it kind of, sells off a little bit and then just breaks out. I think that would be fantastic. And at these lows, I think this is just good for a long-term hold. If you're not trying to trade it, if you're looking for that entry on Neo and you're willing to take the risk that there potentially could be something with China going on, I think this is a great position to get in, to be fair, in my opinion. So I think that if you're curious about Neo, you should go watch my video talking about Neo, how they're trying to build a smart economy, and what makes Neo stand out comparative to a lot of other competitors. But I think that Neo is a winner at this level. I think it's something you could hold for the long term and really see a good return. So we'll have to see, though. Neo is definitely on thin ice a little bit with all the China stuff. We never know what China's going to do. But again, China is usually known to talk rather than propose action on these kinds of crypto regulations. So again, keep an eye on Neo. They've had a lot of beneficial stuff coming out in the news, and I think we'll hopefully see some good price action in it. But time will tell. Time will tell. Last one I want to talk about is Civic. As you all know, I've talked about Civic a few times on my channel as well. I was actually one of the first ones to cover it, and I liked it really early on because the concept of identity verification on the blockchain was an interesting concept to me. I think that it's got a huge place in the world right now, especially with all of the worry of securing private information when we go and we travel from place to place. And then also just with Equifax coming out as well. I think that with Equifax, the urge for security as well as transparency and flexibility of identity verification is important. And I think, again, blockchain is going to be the candidate that brings that. So market cap is looking nice. We've had a nice little bit of sell side action. And if we go here to Civic, we can see that the price action is exactly what you want to look for in a pullback. We had quite an overextended run up. You can see the candles were getting a little shaky, and then it's like, okay, time for a pullback. We need to cool down. And right now it's doing exactly what we want. We're seeing a decent support around 9,000 Satoshis. And I think right now this could be a good buy. I think you've already had the pullback in Civic. Now, I don't know if it's going to run up like crazy. Yeah, we'll have to see. I don't think it's going to be like this, but I definitely think we're going to start seeing some uptick in price action in Civic specifically, because it's finally gotten its cooldown. It's leveled out a little bit, and I think that once you have these pullbacks and you stop seeing sell side action, you start just seeing kind of a hovering. Everything's cooled down. Everything's just kind of waiting for a catalyst. You wait for that reason for the candle to move, and you'll get one of these. You'll get a huge breakout and a continuation for the next few days. So Civic looks like a good candidate. I'm long-term on it. You could do a swing trade or a long-term on it, I think, at these levels. But remember, just have your stop set and buy at a level you feel comfortable with. Again, you are paying a little bit of a premium from these lows, but it's really only 50%, and it had a much larger run-up initially. So it's already proven that it can make this price action again. So hopefully we'll see that in Civic. Hopefully we'll see that for all of our candidates that we've been looking at here. I think that these 5 players are going to be winners in the coming days. But I'd like to hear what you all think down in the comments down below. Do you think these are good ICOs that recently came out? Are you watching these ones for personal trades or investment decisions for the next few years? Are you are you mad at me because I missed out on an ICO? Leave a comment down below. I'd like to get a discussion going with you all. But anyways, everyone, that's it for the video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Stay tuned.